Hello and welcome to the Taboretum channel. Today I will share with you some tips and tricks on 3D slicing that will take your prints from good to great. We'll talk about Vase skin, we'll talk about Vase Mode and fake Vase Mode. These are 3 tips that I'm going to share today, and we'll be talking about actually a soft-boiled egg holder. I do love soft-boiled eggs. There's even an episode on how to soft-boil egg perfectly each and every time. Okay, we start with a fairly simple sketch that we rotate around the Z-axis, and we end up with a soft-boiled egg holder. Super simple thing. Here we have a sphere inside part and a flat bottom, and that's it. And this is designed as it will be printed. So let's move to the PrusaSlicer. Here we have it open. In PrusaSlicer we will select some default for my printer. I will do 20 millimeters. My printer is using 0.6 nozzle, and we slice it, and here it is. However, what you can, if you click this little fellow here, you will see that the seam is there. It's not a seamless thing, right? So we will print it and we'll have a look at it. And as you can see in the print, there are some artifacts and it's fully functional, but not super smooth. So let's get back to our slicer, and here under print settings there is a magic option, Vase skin. We turn it on for all walls, get back to the plater, slice, and what you get is a Vase skin. So even with the seams turned on, they will be absolutely invisible in the actual print. So let's print it and let's see how it works. Here we have the printed version with Vase skin, and it looks absolutely awesome. If you are not planning to have a super smooth surface, it's a great option to hide any imperfections and even make it look less like a 3D print. However, I'm not using these too often because I like the smooth surface. So if we want to have a smooth surface, the best way is to use Vase Mode or Spiral Mode, as it is called in some other programs. So to do it, we need a solid object. So let's get back to FreeCAD and let's have a look at this guy. So this is basically the same shape, but this time it is solid. It doesn't have any inner space inside. It's not a hull. It's a solid thing. So what we do, we go back to our slicer, remove the old one, load the soft boil. Here it is. And what we do now, we go to the print settings and turn off the Vase skin. And here is another magic button, Spiral Vase Mode, and it says that it will be only one parameter, no top solid layers, no infill, no support, and we will not be detecting thin walls. Yes, that's what we want. We go back to the platter, we slice, and magically we have an empty bowl. And you see, we have absolutely no seam. You know what? this is happening because this whole thing just after the bottom is printed as a single spiral. So the printer is constantly moving up by a tiny bit, and we end up with a super smooth surface. So why don't we use it for everything? So that there are two reasons. First of all, you can only print things that when you slice them, they are always single island, right? If you will have a fork here, it won't fly because you cannot print two separate circles as a spiral thing. So that's one disadvantage. Only some shapes can be printed in spiral mode. The other disadvantage is that the thing will be just one perimeter. So in my case, it will be 0.6 millimeter or 0.7 something, because this is my nozzle size. So let's have a look at it, how it looks when it is printed. And you can see that it is super smooth, really smooth, but it is rather weak because it's just single wall. So the next feature, if you want to make it stronger, the next trick you can do is actually, if you go to the print settings and turn on the expert mode, I think if you go to advanced, there is the extrusion width. So the width of the line that is produced, and you can see for 0.6 millimeter nozzle, the defaults are a bit above 0.6. But in our case, we want the parameters and external parameters to be 1.2, because why not? We can print double the width of the nozzle and it works, and I use it a lot to make watertight prints. So it's a free tip. We come back and we slice. And you can see the walls are twice the width, so it will be stronger and it will be spiral mode. So let's print it and see what happens. And here we have the printed thing. It is stronger. It is single spiral mode, so we don't have a seam, but we have some artifacts on the surface. So what happened here? So basically we are printing 1.2 millimeter path that is only 0.2 millimeter high. The radius of this print is small, like with your car, right? Going inside, you need less material. Going outside, you need more material, and that's why you get this warping. The next trick that you can do is actually fake vase mode. So what we do, we will reset this thing. I'll go back to simple mode, turn off the vase mode, but I will get rid of top layers. I will stick with no infill, and I have 0 top layers, right? So if we slice it now, we have again seam, but we don't have to design the empty bowl because Slicer takes care of it. Plus we have control on number of parameters. This violet thing here is actually it's a bug in PrusaSlicer. So it tries to build kind of a solid infill for few layers. So if you want to get rid of it, you need to add a height range modifier. And for ranges above the bottom, our bottom is, I think, 4 layers of 0.2, so 0.8. So starting from 0.8 till the very end of the thing, we want to add a setting that we will have 0 bottom layers. which is stupid because there should be no bottom layers there. But as you can see, the violet thing disappeared. And this is really a pro tip, because if you will try searching on the internet how to get rid of these extra violet layers, you will end up with endless curses that it's not possible. And you can see it is. So let's print it. And you can see here that we have a nice looking thing, but we have seam as expected. So the option now that I use is to actually design the whole thing a bit differently. So here we have a slightly different design that will actually print nicely in Vase Mode, and it will have a surface that will allow us to hide any imperfections. So if we go now to the slicer and slice this animal, it should be called ribs, I believe. Yeah. So we slice it in a true Vase Mode. Yes. Slice, and here it is with a solid bottom. Nice, good looking thing, and let's print it. And here we have it. Nice, a bit tougher and good looking. You don't see any artifacts because there are none. Even if you would be printing it in a fake Vase Mode, there will be enough space to hide the seam. So that's these are the tricks. So vase skin, number one. Second thing, true Vase Mode, and third thing is the fake Vase Mode for some of the use cases. And now one more extra tip that I want to share with you. Actually, you can add objects directly in PrusaSlicer. So we can do an add shape sphere. We can move the sphere in the Z direction in the way that it's stands on one point. And now if we slice it, you can see that we have a problem over here, because if you want to print a spiral, you cannot actually print a flat surface, right? So you see that there is evident gap. So what you can do to fight with it is to first change to smaller layer height, and we transfer all the features, slice, and you can see it's better, but there's still a gap. And the second thing you can do is to actually increase the parameters as before. So let's make it 1.2. Slice. And it's almost good. Right, we would need to print it. It will be a challenge, but it might actually work. And if the thing is even a bit more pointy, it will do just fine. So if we now scale the animal a bit in the Z, make it 200%, so make it a elongated egg, and slice now. So now you see that the top looks okay, just because we have a bit less flat surface. Thanks for watching. That's all for today. If you liked it, please subscribe. If you have your own comments, put them below. Feedback is a gift, so thank you in advance for it. And talk to you soon. Take care, happy printing, and bye-bye.